I met Stanislaw Ignacy Wittkiewicz 5 or 6 years before the start of the Second World War. Stanislaw was undoubtedly one of the precursors of the philosophy of existence. But although he introduced symbols and quasi-mathematical formulas into his argumentation, his language recalled that of 19th century spiritualists rather than the 20th century's precise and technical philosophizing. To the Marxists, to the phenomenologists, and to most of all, the neo-positivists, Stanislaw's theories were metaphysics. They're an accumulation of empty propositions that did not permit verification. That is, they're neither true nor false, and did not observe the former rules of the manipulation of propositions. Stanislaw was an extraordinary and splendid man, but his extraordinariness and splendor belonged to another epoch. As a man, writer, and artist, Stanislaw seems to me like a dazzling relic from the beginning of the 20th century who had strayed into more contemporary times. As a playwright, Stanislaw was a quarter of a century ahead of his time. Not until the revolution brought about by Beckett and Ionesco in the 1950s did such dramaturgy and such vision become acceptable to even the most sophisticated spectators.
Hey, excuse me, hey.
We will be saving questions until the end. Thank you. Where was I?
You're this guy?
Apologize. Yes, Stanislaw Ignacy Wittkiewicz. I knew of several of his novels and 2 of his plays that had been circulating in manuscript copies. I had seen many of his paintings. Wittkäse, the name he had created for himself, the beginning of his last name and the ending of his first name. Excuse me, can we have him removed, please?
What the hell are you talking about? Stanislaw Ignacy Wittkiewicz? An extraordinary and splendid man? Really?
You have a different opinion?
I am one of Wittkäse's ex-personal friends. Well, as personal as you could become with him. For weeks I'm eating dinner at his house, having wonderful, insightful discussions. But the next thing I know, I find no trace of them at our next planned meal. Not a trace. I am left in the darkness for days until a letter from him arrived explaining that I have been ranked down on his list of acquaintances and he no longer wishes to see me. Was it something I said?
Well, if you had let me finish. Every genius has his quirks.
Quirks is quite right.
There's another one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats, sir. I'm going to have to ask you for a return.
I had been a one-time dinner guest of Wittkäse's. I was working for a small magazine and had written an article on his theory in pure form when he first invited me to his home, where he showed me his strange collection of canes and umbrellas of famous women, artists, and politicians. It was strange, but really something memorable. I was caught under the spell of Wittkäse, and I couldn't wait until our next meal. When I received one of his famous letters, I was sure there had been a mistake. I remember staring at the word enemy for a long time. It really got to me, and it hit me deep down, you know. I guess it was because I thought maybe we had ended up becoming close friends. Well, we could be real idiots sometimes. He made an enemy of me as well. I made it my journalistic goal to discredit Wittkäse as much as I possibly could. Nobody who read my work would think his plays were anything more than pure nothing.
I'm sorry for any personal misgivings you may have had towards him. And you are absolutely correct in saying he could be rather outlandish. Wittkäse was undoubtedly an eccentric, borderline unstable man. That being said, you must remember he was an anti-futurist, a man ideologically stuck in the past, working with the creative medium of the future, a walking juxtaposition of a man. Could you not expect some idiosyncrasies? This was a man, a philosopher, an artist, who helped pioneer avant-gardism and theater of the absurd before anyone else thought to do so.
Some idiosyncrasies? Really?
Dear
Some?
God, what did I do to
Please
deserve
tell
this?
me about some idiosyncrasies. Wittkäse always had a peculiar joy for dressing up as other people. He became sort of famous around Zacopane for dressing up as a demon and frightening newcomers. I foolishly let myself grow attached to him. Unfortunately, a man that believes his entire life is a play cannot be capable of loving another individual. To him, I was just another character in this sick, twisted story he had crafted around himself.
Well, if his life were a play, it would have been a tragedy. Stanislaw Ignacy Wittkiewicz committed suicide shortly after the Nazi invasion of Poland.
I remember him trying to get me to do it with him, which I foolishly attempted. I'll always love him. I'll always miss him. But the man's a dangerous lunatic.
Okay. He was troubled, tortured even, but his works speak for themselves, and he was never taken seriously as a dramatist in his time.
Nor should he have been.
Go right ahead.
He was not some tragic figure. To everyone I knew, he was regarded as an eccentric, practical joker out to stir up society with absurd titles, characters, and settings that make no sense, and wildly unclear plots and dialogue, all targeted at the rise of movies and the silver screen. This man wasn't a genius, but he certainly wasn't crazy either. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was an agitator. His world was dying, so he decided to write for the purpose of tearing down the new one and destroying the integrity of the cinema.
You're portraying him as some sort of anarchist out to destroy human civilization. I knew Vickasey. I loved Vickasey. I knew him better than all of you. Take the crazy Locomotive, for example. The play follows absolutely disturbed and deranged individuals searching for a higher reality in their mundane worlds. Try telling me that isn't a reflection of him.
You said it yourself. The play is about the mundanity of society and the destruction of it, his vendetta against a world that outcasted him, not to mention a thinly veiled attempt at making a mockery of the movies.
Try telling me a tortured genius did not write that.
The play is ramblings of a madman.
The play is about nothing.
You all don't understand. You
Let's
were
I wasn't finished my speech.
Don't care. Let's go. Come on, people. Let's go. Let's go.
Scrap.
See you in an hour.
Hurry up. Hurry up. You just can't get it right.
They can't, every time.
Hurry up. Miss. Are you okay?
Whatever you thought about him, no one can deny the world was a little bit more exciting around. I used to hold his hand and look ahead and try to see what he saw. Sometimes I'd catch little glimpses. I'm not sure if I liked what I saw, but I'm sure that I miss it.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. This world just wasn't meant for people like him.
Okay, whoa, hang on, wait a minute. Was the guy a nutcase? Was he a genius? Did he hate the film industry? I still have no clue what's going on. What's going on?
You be the judge. Ladies and gentlemen, Stanislaw Ignacy Vitkovitz, the crazy locomotive.
something to eat? You look as if you're about to explode. Here are some of those little plum cakes you like so much, and a bottle of chartreuse.
Thanks, Julie.
Where's Mr. Tenser?
He and his wife have gone down to the station for a beer, but you didn't come here to see him.
And what if I did? What would you know about it, you poor fool? Just look at you. You're covered with coal from head to foot.
Just don't go too far, or I'll really get mad.
Do whatever you want. I'm not stopping you. You're always threatening to kill me anyway.
If only I could explain it all to you, everything would be different.
Tell me then. I'm not afraid.
Be quiet, the tensors are coming.
What's the steam pressure, Nicholas?
6.5 atmospheres, Mr. Tensor.
Soak up the fire. Today, I have a feeling I'll need enough steam for 6 compounds. Once it gains momentum, this beast races along at a frantic clip, but lacks pulling power. And they've even gone and attached a sleeping car. Julia, you look very attractive today. Perfectly diabolical, but not just diabolical, nor just blonde, but perfectly diabolical. Oh, if it weren't for this locomotive of mine, everything would be different. It holds me back, otherwise I'd blow up like a hand grenade. Let me alone.
Oh, Mr. Tenser, always saying such crazy
Yes,
things.
he's always saying some kind of nonsense, but really he's gentle as a lamb. Can't stand such docile men.
You must be joking.
I never joke. I was unfaithful to him yesterday with the brakeman on the North Express, and he didn't even bat an eye.
Who, your husband or the brakeman?
Not funny. Don't listen to that, Nicholas.
I've asked you not to speak this way. You're corrupting my fiancée.
Oh, don't be stupid, Nicholas. I've already been corrupted. I'm well taken care of in that department.
Shut up, you damn lovebirder all aboard! Let's go! Let's get a move on!
We're off. Turn the steam injector, 7 degrees in the water gauge, and
7 degrees, I don't think the valve will stand the pressure.
And now, let's take off our masks. We're on our desert island again. Robinson Crusoe and his man Friday.
Mr. Tensor means to settle things once and for all, putting aside other more important matters. Are you by any chance in love with my fiancée?
My dear Nicholas, first throw some more coal on, then we'll talk.
Mr. Tensor, the pipes.
What do I care about pipes? You see, I'm just an ordinary engineer the same way you're just an ordinary fireman.
That remains to be seen.
Ever since we got in this locomotive, everything's been going well. Except for the minor problem of the next station. We are alone on this iron beast, totally isolated from the rest of the world. We're not only rushing through space, we are intensely aware of it. As Leonard said, there's simply no such thing as a locomotive engineer. He knows it's not the landscape that's moving because it's not the landscape that he soaks up in oils, but the locomotive itself. The same thing applies to everything that lives and moves. Even a flea's existence disproves all the laws of physics. And that's why the scientific view of relativity can never correspond to reality.
Mr. Tensor, either you're digressing or you're joking.
We only know too well where these rails will lead us. I'd much rather use a boat, but I don't like water and all the problems connected with it. Unfortunately, piracy is no longer possible these days.
So what you're really after is solid financial gain, obtained not altogether legally.
No. It was quite what I was saying. Anyhow, a ship would be too much to handle, a boat's too small, there's simply no solution.
8.5, Mr. Tensor, isn't that too much?
It can go up to 10. I'm going to need more and more steam from now on, although I don't know exactly why yet. Ever since this morning, a kind of vague plan has been taking shape up in my mind.
That's strange. Ever since this morning, I've been thinking of strange and extraordinary things too, but I couldn't tell you exactly what they were. Only action, not contemplation, can make it clear to us. But we have so few chances to do something truly extraordinary if you rule out what you call psychological aberration, Mr. Tensor.
It's been my experience too. You're right. I love Julia, but I love my wife too, although I see her more as a partner in my various activities. To me, Julia is the essence of all feminine charm and mystery, in spite of, or perhaps because of her stupidity. But is any of this really very significant? Here, on this pile of metal, things seem quite different. How can we put this point of view of ours over into the other sphere, which has grown flabby out of sheer inertia, and yet at the same time, view everything from this locomotive hurtling through space? That's the problem.
Yes, I was thinking the very same thing myself, but I didn't have it worked out so clearly. I've read a handbook on Einstein's theory, the transformation of coordinates, the relativity of everything, and all that.
But here the question arises, should we be looking at the ground from the engine, or from the engine at the ground? Let me put it to you quite frankly, say it were possible to transfer life onto this locomotive, how would that be? Of course, the objection could be raised, why not the sleeping car or the diner instead, but still, there's a wide gulf between the locomotive and the rest of the train.
Yes, even I understand the difference. After all, what is life except for women, ours and other people? That eternal rectangle of the husband, the wife, and the engaged couple. Apropos, Mr. Tenser, as soon as we step aboard this engine island, I'm no longer mad at you. Not even about Julie. Here, I'm the fireman. I have my own place in the world, and I couldn't put up with any other boss. Everything goes along smoothly here, but it's two-dimensional, like the surface of a painting. Everything's frozen, even though it's moving. Funny.
Don't make fun of me, Nicholas. It's not so silly as it seems. I suppose it could be done, but only once. It can never be done again. It can never be done in reverse. Yes, I think I've got it now. That vague plan of mine.
That means death.
How do you know?
92 miles an hour. Another half mile, and we'll reach the point of diminishing returns.
Don't try to teach me how to drive this engine. Your job is to stoke. Hurry up, Mr. Slowbach. More coal. How do you know my plan means death? I don't picture anything as definite as that.
It's there.
Such a dumb animal, yet so sensitive to everything. More coal.
Close the damn throttle and apply the brakes. Or we'll be derailed at the next curve.
To me, to tell you the truth, for me, a woman is only a symbol, visible proof of the fleeting moment. And what's more, I admit I'm a professional seducer, but it's really my way of determining the principal moments of inertia of the body in relation to its axis.
But I thought you were somebody more important than that.
Well. No matter how much nonsense you talk, you can still never be nonsensical enough to get at the mystery of existence. Lunatics know that, and so do those on the verge of lunacy.
I'm going to take a chance and tell you something. I am not Slovak. He's been lying in his grave for a long time. I've been living his life for him with the aid of his papers. I am Travaillac.
So you're the great Travaillac, sought out in vain by police all over the world. I could have you arrested at Dumbbell Junction.
I didn't think that you...
Let go of that revolver, Mr. Travaillac. I was only joking. To a criminal of your stature, I too can make my introductions. I am Prince Karl Trafalgar. I too can be arrested at any station.
Yes, my intuition has never been wrong. If it had, I would have rotted away in some prison a long time ago. You have always been an inspiration to me in my work. Perhaps the two of us together could rise above the turbulent pulp of international depravity.
Yes, all those crimes bore me, and especially their consequences. Of course, I'm not talking about prison, but about inner consequences. Nowadays, crime stunts the growth of human personality, and despite my seeming simplicity, I am much too complicated to try and lead a normal life. And now, there's Julie. Oh, don't be offended. Listen to me, Trebek. We've got to do something really diabolical, not to our others, but to ourselves, right now without further delay. To put it bluntly, I am in love with your fiancé, but without a really atrocious accident, I cannot seem to get started. But at least here, I'm racing ahead, and that calms me down a little. My wife uses blackmail to keep a hold on me.
You mean Irma Abracadabra, the famous chanteuse from Beasley I told you, the partner of all your crimes?
Yes, the very same. She's the one who helped me murder my aunt, the Princess de Boscotricas. She wears a putty nose and cut her hair short. I no longer find her attractive.
Yes, of course, we all have to be changing constantly. But just think, while we're up here talking about all this, there's someone back there in one of those carts, reading about a story just like ours, in a murder mystery from the local lending library. Funny, isn't it?
It's possible, but such coincidence doesn't diminish either the greatness of our thought or the strangeness of our meeting. And now, let's get down to business.
You can be quite frank with me, Carl. I'm prepared for whatever happens.
We've got to take some kind of action tonight.
Like a duel or God's judgment. Good. That serves my purpose.
That's why I'm pushing the throttle down.
But what about the train? The lives of all those people?
That from you, a man, or rather a beast, on whose lives there are at least 30 absolutely monstrous, or rather absolutely glorious murders.
Yes, but in those days I had certain real goals.
We're going to solve the essential problem, the problem of how to make sense out of the whole unsavory comedy of our existence, since our criminal period has unfortunately played itself out.
I haven't been able to grasp the full significance of what we're planning to do here. But I'm satisfied with it. I've simply got to carry it out. Nothing else could give my life any meaning.
We can't go back to our former lives. And think how satisfying it will be if one of us lives through this episode. The survivor will be able to burn the dead corpse of all his guilt and feel absolutely secure.
Oh, right, I agree. If we pass through Dumbbell Junction without an accident, we're sure to meet number 50. According to the timetable, our paths are bound to cross, and there's nothing between our stations to stop the other train. But what if both of us survive? It'll be a rather awkward situation.
I hadn't thought about the possibility of being named, but it's too late for such speculation. I'm letting the engine go full steam ahead.
I planned a little surprise for you. You didn't expect it, did you? Mrs. Tenser's coming along on all fours behind me. We jumped on at the last minute. It was difficult crossing over the buffers, but why are you going so fast? It's crazy. There's a station just a little way ahead.
You'll find out soon enough. We'll see whether you're up to the high stakes we're playing for.
High stakes? What sort of nonsense is that? Have you already drunk up all that chartreuse I gave you? You'll have to hide us till we get to the next station under the coal or somewhere.
It's happening. Our dreams are coming true. We've got to tell them the truth. Erna! Listen to me. I love Julia. Trebayak and I are carrying out God's judgments. We're letting the engine go full steam ahead at breakneck speeds. I can't go on constantly being threatened by this blackmail. You see, I think you're going to die soon, and you're the only person my conscience wouldn't let me kill. You see, I love you in my own way. You've been a good partner and a good friend. But I think you're destined to die in an accident. You came here on your own free will. It is not my fault.
Heck, Siegfried, have you gone mad? You're suffering from hallucinations.
Trebayak, the great Trebayak. Take a good look at him. You read about him in Bulldog magazine. All masks are off.
Oh my God. He has gone mad. Mr. Slovak, he's got to be put away. Oh, why did I ever let myself be talked into doing such a ridiculous thing? It's your fault! You snake! You were the one who persuaded me to jump on the train!
Really, I didn't plan it. I didn't know anything about this. But here I am. And we're together. No, I couldn't be happier, but how Mr. Tenser would have pity you're not a criminal too like this.
He's even worse! Let go of me, you ape! Carl, save me! Close the throttle! I still have a lot to live for!
Here, Trebayak, tie her up. That's the first time in her life am Prince Carl Trifaldi. Isn't that quite enough?
No. It's you. That's incredible. Trifaldi, the most notorious criminal in the whole world. Oh, how perfectly marvelous. Oh, I'm so happy. I've always dreamed of something really extraordinary happening to me. Like in the movies.
And what about me? Don't I count for something? And don't my crimes mean anything to you? Be careful, Julia. I could kill His Highness and stop this train at any moment.
I love you both. Now I'm really in love for the first time. I'm with both of you. In this moment, both of you are extraordinary. Something is being created, right here and now, the way it was in the beginning before the world has begun. Oh my God!
Now here's a girl who's really worthy of us. We can't back out of our plan. We can't go on living as we did, isn't that so?
Of course it is. You can already see the signals at Dumbbell Junction.
If we have anything more to say to one another, we better say it quickly. Right now we're going so fast, I don't know whether or not we'll be derailed.
What more is to be said? 11 atmospheres, 130 miles an hour. My head is rushing into the infinite cosmic abyss like a bullet along its trajectory.
Well, I say I feel marvelous. I've never done anything so exciting in my whole life. And I'm supposed to be such a hysterical woman. But I'd be willing to die 1,000 times for a moment like this.
As for me, I have nothing more to say. I'm only an extension of this throttle, as if my thoughts have been spitted and skewered onto this iron lever. But it's more than that. I am the engine. I'm the one that's racing through space like a bull, ready to impale myself on the blades of my destiny. Yes, it's really a momentous occasion. They ought to put a sign up over our heads. Do not touch. Danger, high voltage. If someone standing on firm ground were to touch me, they'd fall down dead as though struck by lightning. Is this the beginning of mechanized madness?
I'm amazed at your modesty, Carl. First you tell us you have nothing to say, then you talk your head off.
But all my talk is negative. I have nothing positive to say. I'm only a moving image projected on a screen in the endless void. If the engine were to suddenly stop, I would die.
Stop psychoanalyzing yourself. Real men are always like that. Unfortunately, even supermen like you. This is the only time in our lives where we can really gorge ourselves in reality. In our everyday lives, we only get scraps and crumbs and leftovers, and that's all there is. But now I have everything. I'm not waiting for anything anymore because I already have it. Even a head-on collision means nothing at all to me. I've got both of you. And this kernel of death that's in me, it's in you, and in this crazy engine. But in that other life, could I have ever had you? In some ordinary hour of some ordinary room, in some ordinary night.
I see through you. You filthy slut! I know perfectly well what you want, you rotten little gutter snipe, you gluttonous hunk of vulgar horseflesh.
Oh, Carl, I appeal to you for the last time.
We're coming to the station. I can't let go of the throttle. Throw that trash out, it's got no soul. Why should we let her make these precious moments and spoil them with her filthy talk?
Carl!
She smashed to pieces against the pump. The first semaphore signaling the line is open. All the roads are clear, all the crossings are clear. The second semaphore signaling the line is occupied. That means number 50 is rushing towards us. The crucial moment is drawing near.
Everything's going well. If only my head didn't feel so insanely empty, I'd really be happy.
Somebody just jumped on the moving train. You must be crazy. He'll ruin everything.
Who could possibly be as crazy as we are? We're in a class by ourselves. We're unique. We are colossal. At last I understand what true greatness is. Oh, how grateful I am to you. How I love you both.
If number's 50 late, it could mean real trouble. Who knows what turn this disaster may take if our president who deserts us.
Don't talk that way. I could go on like this for hours. An entire lifetime is condensed into these moments of waiting. Like a balloon filled with compressed air.
Well, women are always generally more resilient than men. We can take only so much and no more. If this dragged on any longer, it might not turn out so well. In fact, it could turn out quite badly.
Someone's calling along the tender. Come on, up here. I told you not to go up, Hope. Something must have happened to the brakes. Come on, we will help them.
Our work's really cut out for us. To shoot or not to shoot, I'm not anxious to commit any more crimes. There's a whole gang crawling up here.
Don't shoot, it'll come out all right.
Nicholas, he is backing down. He's leaving it all up to fate.
Look, I'm doing 130 miles an hour, and you're still not satisfied? You're insatiable. Hi, I'm Valerie Bean. There's a woman here. What in God's name are you doing here? It does not matter. Tell me what I can do to help. Tell me quickly, for number 50 has already left the station. It is rushing towards us opposite direction at high speed. Nothing can stop it. Also, the telephone line at number 20 was cut. The guards were talking about it at the station.
Nothing beautiful can exist in this world. The human animal always interferes and spoils everything.
So it's don't give up hope, is it? Well, damn, I'd forgotten about the telephone and I work for the railroad. We always counted on speed saving us. The imbecile in the freight train wouldn't be able to back up 130 miles an hour. What are you talking about? She is the lunatic. Have you gone crazy too? Can't you stop the engine? Tell me what must be done and I will do it. Hurry.
You've come at just the right time. The throttle's jammed. We need a lever to stop the train. Hand me a rifle. Wonderful. Now beat it. The situation's getting a lot more complicated, but we'll manage somehow. Now don't move, or I'll blow your brains out.
Duh. They really are lunatics. This madness is contagious. It is becoming universal. If someone does not do something soon, we are all lost. I can do no more. I am all worn out from catching the train. I'm completely bushed.
Isn't there anyone who has enough courage to go after these murderers? In 5 seconds, it may be too late. We'll be killed anyhow unless someone comes to our rescue.
I beg and beseech you. My brother, Valerie Bean, is only a bank clerk. His history has the reputation of being mad because at night he paints realistic paintings, but in spite of this, he jumped on a moving train to save me. He'll save all of us while he's at it. 100 miles an hour, he was bathing at the station with a bouquet of flowers. Can you understand what this means? I was the first one in our car to close the alarm.
But not one of us has a gun. How could anyone have foreseen this? Such a respectable company. And now we're getting closer and closer to death every second. Death on all sides. It's enough to drive you out of your mind.
Oh, God! Mr. Guster, what's going on in this train? Nobody has any idea what's happening? The passengers think the train was supposed to pass right by the station. In the rear cars, no one had tickets to Dumbbell Junction. They've both gone mad. Oh. And it's all due to drinking. Oh, I don't have a gun either.
For God's sakes, conductor, let's not waste time arguing. We're not at the theater watching a play. You have to help us somehow. After all, I know you personally.
I don't have any idea what to do. I don't even know what the steering wheel is. All I do is punch tickets or check whether they've already been punched. Specialization is the great curse of age. Wouldn't you agree?
Mr. Guster, we're personally acquainted too, but in a rather odd sort of way. See, I attacked you on the street one night. Even though we've never been formally introduced, could you see about getting these handcuffs taken off? I used to be an engineer.
Take his handcuffs off.
Save us, and I'll have you released from prison. My uncle's a prosecutor at Appalachian Court. I fell in love with the fireman 2 minutes ago. He's my type. I found him at last. I've got to get him away from that woman so we can live together for the rest of our lives without any interference. I want to live. Don't you understand? Fireman, did you hear that?
You know, the girl's a real addition to the crew. Makes the situation more varied.
Several separate destinies fatally meet at one point. It's almost mathematically inevitable. There's nothing more to say on the subject other than the cliche second-rate dramatists used to pad out their vacuous plays. We'll just wait and see. Right now, I wonder if I'll have enough courage. Julie, if you live through this, you won't be false to us, will you?
Never. I'm a superwoman from another world. Though it makes me furious they've ruined such a wonderful experience for us.
You disgusting phony! Now I don't tricks you used to hold on to your hands of fireman!
Carl! You're about the throttle. You're so desperate they're capable of anything.
Carl, he's been sick for all his life.
Not all of it, my friend.
Oh, God.
You know, perhaps it's good that they came here. I admit I might have backed down in the face of death. So perhaps it's good to leave some odds and ends to the miserable workings of chance.
I admire your heroism in admitting your shortcomings, Carl.
It's shocking that at this stage of civilization, our lives are in the hands of such people. Just can't believe I'm here on this locomotive.
And did you think we were all worthless? Mannequins like you? Us criminals are the only ones who count for anything in this godforsaken world. Especially those of us who are criminals not for the sake of money or any other motive, but for the sake of crime itself.
Yes. Criminals. And maybe artists are too. Though I only know artists through their works, but maybe lunatics are too. But I don't know any lunatics. Come on, man. They're lunatics, aren't they? And what about you? Aren't you lunatic?
It's all a hoax! It is joke! It's due to the influence of modern art!
All right, now just hold them off to one side and I'll see what I can do. And hurry, there's something whistling on up ahead of us.
Ha! Since the fun of using courage, I'll have to do it myself! Wretched coward!
Only the biggest cowards are really brave. And that's because they're afraid. Your average cow just couldn't make it.
Sir, what's going on? Were there a lot of people in the locomotive? Was it a shooting? Was it a holdup?
People.
Talk like a human being. As soon as I saw what was going on, I gave the signal to stop for both you and number 50. You must have gone right by the station or else my clock isn't running right. My wife's gone mad, she's been delirious all day. And then there's that telephone that's been out of order since 5 o'clock. I don't be held responsible for this.
Mystery. The miracle's still alive. My brain is like mush and there's a hole in my head. In a minute it'll all run out through the hole.
Nothing beautiful can exist in this life. Everything's rotten. Everything beautiful has come to an end for all time. I had enough. Kill me. I don't want anything. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to know anything. I don't know if I'm really myself or not. I don't know what's going to happen next. Meaningless words are strung out through my empty brain. Nothing is what it really is. It's all something different. Everything is strange and horrible at the same time. I don't know whether these people are really alive or not. A black abyss, soft and impersonal, is opening up before me. Oh, God.
She's gone out of her mind from nervous shock. She sounds exactly like my wife.
No. No! The dog, the engineer, is already nothing but a mass of pulp. And that one there, he's the chief culprit. Grab him! Don't you see, my good man, that all my guts are spilling out? The thorn went at least 12 inches into my belly. Plus, I'm still suffering from nervous shock. That lady over there hit me in the head with a shovel.
We're safe and sound. Forget about that woman and all the horrible things she made you do. You completely regain your equilibrium with me.
But what about my part in all this? There were witnesses and it didn't go as planned. All I want is peace and quiet.
That's easy to arrange. You'll spend 6 months in a lunatic asylum. Then I'll have you released. My uncle, the prosecutor at Appellate Court, you've got to live and go free. Although I'm a countess, I'd never find another man like you. I'll take this fireman with me on my own responsibility.
That's the way it's got to be. There's no point in fighting it. Goodbye, conductor. Unfortunately, it's beginning all over for me. We have Julia and her influence to thank for all the crazy things we've been through. I've had enough of hysterical women to last me a lifetime. Beans were all squished into a jelly. I'm all splattered with listeners' cuts. It seems to have happened in a train.
Let's go have a beer, Captain. We'll have time for quite a few before all this gets settled out. The ambulance train will take care of the rest. Hopefully this doesn't start an epidemic among engineers throughout the whole world.
I know everything, too, the way he does. Only the two of us know. The rest of you are all fools. I've always waited.
I waited every time the train came by. You can't imagine what torture it is to sit and watch and wait as the trains come by and then rush off carrying off all those passengers. Well, finally, I stopped waiting. Today at 5 o'clock, I cut the telephone line. During the night, a spirit told me I had to do it. He had a dark beard and his eyes gleamed like a cat's. He was the one I was in bed with my husband with during the night. Jan, calm down and go back home. It's sickening to have to listen to you talk that way.
Jan, why didn't I meet you sooner? I'd certainly have seduced you.
He's the one I dreamed about during the night.
First of all, let's save this one. He's the greatest criminal in the whole world. The famous Prince of all the king of murderers. At least he's got to live so we can atone for his crimes and be an example to the others. The police received a telegram. They came by handcuff from Dunga Junction. He was to be arrested there. But didn't suspect a thing. Damn, there's no getting around that. His insides are out.
Too late, Doctor. Even to please the courts, I can't postpone the hour of my death. I had an inkling of it, but I swear nothing was definite. I die without any regrets, so you can cheer up. Goodbye.
Doctor, please. Forget about these murders and instead look after the women. They've both gone out of their minds.
Just a minute, my good man. Justice first, then the wounded, and the mentally lost of all. Because there is absolutely nothing we can do to help them.